Good morning. Yes, it's still the morning. That's good. Do say hello if you're there. So I'm just doing my Sunday routine of dusting. What do you reckon? Getting everything ship shape. Had to let the cleaner go. Right, who's there? Is there anybody out there? Cool. Who's here? 4 people. Brilliant. So, I just thought I'd pop on because I'm just tidying the studio and stuff and see who's about on Sunday. I've got a list of jobs I need to do in the studio. Oh. All right. I must admit I've been overplaying, believe it or not. So the interesting thing is when you overplay, you just get bored, don't you? So I'm ready for the next big sort of guitar mission to embark on, whatever that is. Oops. It's better, isn't it? So, what's everybody up to? What have you been doing this weekend? And do say hello in the chat. So it's an unofficial stream really for me. So I just thought I'd come on here, and if anybody wants to chat about anything, well, we can talk. There's no agenda today. Apart from me sort of developing the live looping set thing. So what I've done actually is I just decided to put polychrome, the polychrome pitch, just on my guitar bass. And it's great, you can just, so I've got a little synth riff. I just thought to try it out. You know, put a bit of a, I'll just copy it. So if I take this, and then just play it, and see where I can go with it. Bro, you're up late. No, I've been up early. So Sunday is slightly different routine. So I'm up early, and I've got to take the daughter to her violin lesson at 8 o'clock in the morning UK time. She goes for a violin lesson. Hey, Chozilla, how you doing? What's getting fixed? I just thought getting fixed. Well, removing all of the dust from my studio. So on a Sunday, I usually do my tidying and stuff like that. But I do have. Well, the first thing was to drop like a pitch plug-in on. Let's have a look. We'll come over here. Let's have a look. On the guitar bass, I thought, right, I'll just drop polychrome pitch on it. Tune it down. That was one thing I wanted to do. And then we'll have to have a look. So I mean, basically this actual template, this studio environment that I'm working in, basically came from when I was making a production template that would feel like one instrument. So it was my Beats Plus 3. That's me in the forest with the missus dressed up as a bear. Don't worry about that. I can explain everything. So did I get I've got Live 12 as Live 1.1. I haven't got the beta, so I haven't got that yet. But if it's not a beta, I'll get it, and then I'll be using all the stuff on there. So I remember the Beats Plus 3 in its development phase having this unique style, research and discovery, and you can see sort of the foundations of what I arrived at with the guitar bass, exo drums, octave guitar, and this Band for Now column. SH101 ARP I haven't got in because this is referring to something older. But then I have like lots of sort of methods and options I can then kind of use in sessions. I don't have any methods for now. So for example, I might do where I just use session view only and not arrange. I might start a piece of music with just crystal ARPs. So it's just kind of giving you sort of like starting points. Using RC20 for tape noise, so playing against tape noise. We do actually have that in this, believe it or not. So I've got a thing, you know, like when you're making music, it can be a little bit daunting to have nothing in your template. So even just having that is better than nothing, isn't it? Bit of noise to keep you company. But actually what I've got is I've been curating some textures here. So, but it's a very sort of standard thing that I do. So like doing something like that, just adding one of these backgrounds, it just means you're not completely on your own. So I'm just in the process of curating some of those. Let's have a go back to here. And then I've got all my Beats Plus 3 options, the different sort of instruments I may, that I'm confident at using, that I may use in a session. Ethereal textures, yeah. So it's enough to kind of give you some sort of an emotion to start something, so you got something to play against rather than just kind of crashing in. I think the only thing with the live looping thing is you have to make it entertaining from the start. You can't like faff about trying to make something, so you just got to pick something and go with it. So, I mean, it's a great way to splurge, isn't it? But I've got this thing, upgrades, right? So I had been making notes during the week. Right, so I've done that. I haven't done the LFOs. I have done that. I've added a clipper. Add serum. Set up octave on shred channel. I'm going to cross it out because I'm not going to do it. I am curating textures, and I've put pitch on there. So there are some things that I have done. So SH101 ARPs, adding those in could be a good idea, and adding LFO to this base. It's also a fine idea, I think. Let's do that. I have to find the LFO thing though. It's like one of those things that, like, I get out, put it in a template, and then when I want to find it from scratch, never know where it is. Could it be this? Hope it is. That's not the one, is it? I know where I've got one. Hopefully this will not crash everything. Paste. Must be that. You well might have. I hope you didn't bury your body in the forest while wearing the bear suits. Yeah. Like, it's an interesting time for me at the minute. So the old band from the 90s has relaunched, which is only me and my other half, and she's very keen. It's frightening, actually. I think what I might do is just go with this, but delete that base. But I'll take the arpeggiator and stick it on here. And what else? And then delete that. Give that its usual colour. Oh god, what colour is that? It's that one, isn't it? Call this 101 base. And we've got... Right. And then hopefully... Just tune it in there. And just get rid of these things, because I don't think I need them. So, no, get in the way, it's fine. Right, alright, here we go. So I didn't bury any bodies, so none better get in the way, I understand. No. I love template stuff, it's brilliant. Yes, and a little movement is, actually it's really important, isn't it? So I think, yeah, for the live looping thing, if I have a bit of that on the go, that's going to be good, isn't it? Just to have that set up and doing its thing. Pretty good. Now, the other thing is drums, right? I'm just going to switch those off for now. And I'll just save. And then what I'm interested in is potentially some live drums, right? But I need something where I can just flick to different sort of live drum loops without having to make anything. And there is something that I think is going to do this job. And I think that's going to be XLN again, and it's going to be Addictive Drums. I shall use the VST3 version. Yeah, use chorus riff for intro. Yeah, all that stuff's really, really good because it just gives you a starting point, so you're not thinking. There's just like a little anchor to hang off. And I think, yes, doing stuff like that's a really good idea. Before. Hold on. No, don't. Just close that a second. And I need to create a MIDI channel. It's funny, like when you're doing like live looping and you're doing this stuff, you forget how to like do things because you've always got like a template. All right, there we go. Ooh, right, so I do have a bit of a drum bus here, and I don't think it would hurt to put this through that. I'll do that. Put on its own layer. And then we're just looking for stuff. Quite interesting. Oh. Addictive Drums is silent. Wonder why. So let's go into the main. Oh, you've uploaded a new track. Excellent. Corrupt Industry. Now you got my full attention. Hi HC, how you doing? Day chat, Hutch, chops, clap, yeah, that kind of thing. I'm just here faffing about, just doing things really. But I'm just trying to get Addictive Drums to work. But all right, there we go. That's what I wanted. Right. I have a plan. beats, synchronized tempo. Right, how's that working? So we just need it to synchronize. Right. Alright, cool. Cool. This is interesting, so I've just got to find the right sort of thing that I like, really. Oh, not metal. What's this? So I'm just going to pause that there. So it's kind of a good idea. So if I use addictive drums in a looping situation, that means I can just kind of pick a kit and then just grab a beat. So what's this one? 62. Go back down to the lower tempo. It's distorting there though. No, I'm not. What I realised is for some reason when I start doing rock kind of stuff, I haven't needed really any sidechain. The drums are just really cutting through, and I think especially when you've got like long kick drums, they tend to just completely absorb all the bass, you know, because it's constantly like turning the bass down. So I found that I haven't needed to do a lot of sidechaining lately, and that goes for sort of the track that I've got coming out, Chemical Dreams, doesn't have any sidechain on it. Neither does Devil Was My Friend. Those two tracks have got no sidechaining on whatsoever. They just didn't need it, and I felt that the sidechain was taking a lot of low end away. So just not needed it. Interesting enough. Yeah, Addictive Drums is great, so we'll just have to need to see how it performs. So I think what I need to do is just do a save as. and I'm just going to take out so usually, because there's a few things, I reckon this will take up a lot of RAM, it'll take up a ton of resources, and it does put 1.5 milliseconds on the project, so we now need to find out like how this is going to perform. And that's just, I think we'll take this down a bit. And 36. Awful. So thing is, now I'm like surfing for drums, aren't I? Which is a pain in the arse. Interesting concept. Yeah, so you see, if I'm going to do that, the whole thing, like the reason I was using Addictive Drums, Mech, was because there's a lot of variation in the drums, and there's lots of like MIDI files there, so I can quickly like do stuff. If I want a straight live kit, right, and this is probably going to crash this project, right? I have something already. It's really good. And that's this. I spent a bit of time on it because what I realised is actually my live drum mixing skills were kind of were becoming non-existent because I just don't do a lot of live drums, and I was sort of just interested in how you mix and process them. So I think this is Get Good Drums, and I did enough processing on it that it would work in a live situation, but not absolutely everything you would have. Yeah, this is it. Which is fine. However, I'm coming to the conclusion that for my live looping, I need to be going wide with my sound palette. Come on. Let's see if it loads XO back up. Yeah, it has. So I think, right, the conclusion to this is those live drums are great, but I'm struggling. We've sort of used them in a live situation. XO, a lot easier. Because you just run it, and like, if I really can't be bothered to do anything, I can just pull it up, and then we can start doing variations. So there are ways which we can do this. I mean, that's great how you can just like totally change all of the drums and everything. And then we can do things like you can totally change the beat there. And then there's another thing which is much more useful. Or other interesting things. Could be. So when you come on here, similar patterns, similar samples. See, I think that sounds pretty cool. Okay, I always get tangled up with, right, hold on. Let's catch up with the chat here, right. Right, so that's really good. So, H.C. Nielsen, right, so are you stuck mixing the preset? So when we're on Addictive 2, I did a lot of sort of toing and throwing with this. Addictive 2 is great for writing and just getting a drum beat. The other thing I use it for is I use it like, I suppose like a breakbeat. So what I'll do is I'll find a sound that I really like, and then I'll program live drums on top of programmed drums. So like all of my new Freakstar stuff, like so there's a track called oh god, what's it? Chemical Dreams, right? And I just basically put a breakbeat over the top of it, but I was able to exactly program it the way that I wanted using Addictive Drums. So I just used the mix of the drums the way it was. If like something was too loud, I just mixed it within the plugin. But doing a deep dive and doing a proper mix, it's very, very daunting getting all the output channels set up, and then if you want to change kits, it all becomes chaotic. So I went with Get Good Drums, and that's a lot easier to kind of that just handles like a real drums to me. So the way it's set up is like everything's coming out on individual channels, and it just stays set up like that. And it's got, because you're just using the one drum kit, you're not changing anything out really. It's much more consistent. That's what I find. So I'm not struggling mixing as per se. Just basically, it's to do with how the plugins handle themselves in the mix situation. Both are like really, really good, like when you're writing. But when it comes to, you know, the convergent thinking, the actual mixing, the nitty-gritty of getting down to it, and sort of musical administration, should we call it that, where you're getting individual outputs and stuff like that on the go on your plugins, I find Get Good Drums a lot easier to do that with. Probably just need something straightforward like a 4/4, yeah, of course. Percussion is the tricky part when I'm bleeding with electronic rock idea and guitars. I always kind of tangle up with trading things off. Typical EDM kicks in stuff, just hate guitar and rock forms. Wow, you use Zen also. Nice, do I? Where's Zen? Oh, Chris, right. All right, Chris. Yeah, so you get like stuck in each mix preset. So I suppose if you were going to mix, I would just mix it actually inside of Addictive Drums. That's what I'd have to do. And I used to have Easy Drummer as well. And again, that was a similar thing. And you know, I spent ages piping everything out, and then getting at each channel to like mix it properly. It was just hard work, really. But then again, you see, like I come from the electronic world. I know I'm a shred guitarist, and I just love drum machines and samples and break beats and things like that. And just live drums on their own just does not do it for me. I need what I need someone else. So like stuff like just even that, it's just way more interesting to me, and has a vibe. So I mean, as we're talking about drums, I'll take you through sort of the process here with EXO. I mean, basically what I've got is so all my drums, okay, I'll work top down there. So all of my drums basically go into this drum bus, and what I've done is, just for vibe for my lives, is I've got like Time Machine on there, and I've just got it set to 80s. What this is it's basically saturation of some kind in a compressor. So I've just got it set on its default thing. It sounded good, I'll go with that. But then I do have a little bit of SSL. Just giving it a bit of a squeeze, gluing it all together, and that's it. And I do have a high pass, low pass filter. When I get round to it. And then what we've got is, I've got EXO, and all the channels are piped out into individual channels in Ableton. So the kicks go into one, and then and I just pretty much follow the template that's on here. Percussions are on the flex, hi-hats on open and close, clap, snare, and 2 kicks. Usually I use this for like another hi-hat. Yeah, techno rumble, that's it. So I did have a phase of I'm sure, like on my Rain stuff, I did do some techno rumble. There's or like I was doing it in tech house. I was trying to mash genres up anyway. But I remember the techno rumble phase experiments very well. That was a real thing. So I've been through the techno rumble phase, big style. So these are all piped out to individual outs. I don't use any of the internal effects. I do like to program beats on here, which is a handy thing that I've done it, because it's great for this live situation. I can just have my presets there, and it's all very good. One thing, I moved all my samples, so when I click here, it basically says there's nothing here, and then it has to reload them all. Just save that. So, right, there's a little vaporwavy thing. Now, what I've got is I've got some of the essential things that I think just macroed. So, for example, I've got a kick envelope here, which is handy, like, because sometimes those kicks are just... So it makes sense to be able to just shorten it so it's not filling all my low end up with absolute crap and fighting with the bass. So I suppose that's like a reason, that's one of the main reasons I haven't had to be using a lot of sidechain compression on stuff, is because I'm keeping my kicks short and I'm kind of boosting the sub as well, so it's a very short, momentary thump in your chest, which I much prefer now. So it's just getting that sweet spot. And then, you know, I've got pitch as well. You know, so if we want to turn the pitch down, like on that snare, we can do that. Okay, and then obviously things are individually piped out onto the mixer. So typically, everything pretty much has the same thing going on here. I've already got the kicks pre-monoed. And then what I have here is I just have SSL 4KE on everything. Probably a bit overkill, but I just like the collective sound of the whole thing together. I think it just makes things sound a little bit more three-dimensional. But the only thing I have on here really macroed is the high-pass and low-pass filters, and this is on all the channels, so I can quickly clean things up with that. And then there's the level here, so if I need to gain stage, this is macroed, so it can't go past 0 dB, so I can do that. I mean, I could set a little bit of just gentle compression for all the kicks just to make them more like snappier if I want. I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? I do like a bit of SSL, it's like good stuff, isn't it? So whatever we're losing by shortening the kick, we can get back. And then just typically, there's the snare. Now, I do have, right, the interesting thing about the snare is, and this has come across, I probably don't need this for the lives, but actually, one of the things is sometimes when you're getting programmed drums that can sound a little bit thin. So what I do is I've got this XXL bass, and I can just quickly there you go, put a little bit of stuff on the low end to take it off. That's without, that's with, you know. That's kind of what it's doing there. That's a bit cleaner, isn't it, rather than... Cool thing about this is you can add a bit of pre-delay, so if the sub's killing the transient, we can just move that low end a little bit. We can shift it out of the way a little bit. You can hear it there, flamming. So that's just something that I kind of put on to fatten things, but actually, I don't think I need it for this. I probably don't need that on either. And then this is like your basic channel. So usually it's like you'll see minus 6 dB gain staging before anything kind of hits the plugin. So if things are getting too loud, it's not going to distort your plugin internally and create, aliasing and noise and just crap. So just to get things cleaner, I just usually like it's minus 6 on every channel. And then again, it's just we're just going into that SSL, and that's on like every channel. pretty much like all the guitars will have this as well, high pass, low pass. Although I do have on Hyperrig Kiesel the high pass and low pass guitar filters macroed on this, because I think the filters on here are designed to actually work with the guitars that you're putting through it. So I just find these are a little bit more like musically sympathetic. In other words, you can cut a lot away from your guitars that are creating havoc in your mix, but it doesn't destroy your sound, your tone overall. So that's kind of, what is going on there. All right, everybody's gone quiet. I've probably bored everybody to death. So that's what we're doing. So that's what's going on there. So I think the conclusion is that I'm sticking with EXO because I can go wide. So the live looping thing, it's all about going wide and not going too deep, because deep's like the mix, isn't it? That's where we get lost in the deepness of doing the mix. And I think for what we're doing here, getting the ideas down, it's about speed, chaos, and excitement. That's what I want to feel. And those are the conditions of success, of course. Right. All right. No, I need to just check on something. So if anybody's on here who not been on this channel before, this is just impromptu, sort of like just going on here live to run some experiments and things. Do subscribe and give this video and other videos, if you can, a like, because it will kind of help. And anybody wanting to do so, anybody who's wanting a one-to-one coaching session, do send me an email. And when I say coaching, it's like music coaching. So if you're interested in sort of getting focused, working out what you want to do in your music career, or working out, what your next objective is and how you're going to tackle it, to do with, and it can be to do with guitar playing, it can do with music production, anything, it really doesn't matter. It's all covered. Yes. Thank you, Chris. And as I always say, that the coaching thing is, I help you solve your number one problem through questioning. That's what it's all about. And then finding, what the bedrock problem is that's actually stopping you from doing the thing that you want to do. A lot of the time it's procrastination and fear. But we can overcome that. That's not a problem. And as I say, it's the one thing that, moved my music career along was being coached. I think I had enough formal music education to the point it was like disabling me in some ways. See, this is so I totally agree, and I think, and I'm really surprised there isn't more people like me, so Chris, honestly, sometimes all the people need is there's many thoughts and things going on in most people's life. It's hard to put it all into place, and just having somebody else there asking questions that you're using as a soundboard can help you make the decisions that you want to do next, find those actions. And that's super important, because I think a lot of things are, when you get people confuse coaching with consultancy, where you end up with like an action plan that somebody else has made for you. This is what you need to do to have a career, and then you didn't really make that plan, and then you won't follow it. But if you make your own plan and it seems to make sense and it fits in with your situation, you're much, much more likely to do it. Just uninstalled Ableton. Why did you do that, Oliver? I know you're just joking, aren't you? You've uninstalled it. You've uninstalled it from one machine, probably going to install it on a much better machine, I would imagine. Honestly, life without Ableton. I mean, I love Ableton, and I really like sort of. I've had a Max MSP device kind of phase, which is some amazing stuff there. You don't really need all this Flash third-party stuff, you know. Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, anybody wanting coaching, just hit me up. And I've started. You know what? I've started enjoying like doing the. I've always enjoyed it, but I've had a trickle of people coming through, having guitar lessons, and that's also very, very interesting and revealing as well. All right. So another interesting thing is I haven't been too keen on using reverb much on guitars. That's been a thing that haven't really bothered putting on my template. Changed your mind. What I want to know is why you uninstalled it in the first place. What happened there? I hope I had this screen on before when I was taking everybody through my. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm going to come over here now. Oh, I'm picking a guitar. I don't know what I'm going to play. I'm just going to mess about. Right, what's happening with these drums? Let's have a listen. Tell you what, just chords. You need to go to sleep. Go to sleep. 4 a.m. in Cali. And thanks, Mac. And see you, well, tomorrow morning. So there's something that needs fixing. So for the nerdy guitarists, so I've been really addicted to the Tim Miller, his approach to sort of playing 2-on-2 arpeggios, and like the way you can kind of come up with all sorts of like different combinations of really interesting arpeggios, and you just have to remember, I don't know, there's like 6 different patterns I have, and I can kind of use any one at any time, and they're called cells. Yeah, he is. So, because that's what I've been doing. I mean, I'm not a fusion player. I'm not like I'm rock, but I think just like to stop me getting bored from what I'm doing, I'll dip into a bit of fusion stuff, and it's sort of actually been a really handy thing. So, you know, I'm in E minor, and so this will be an example of different sort of cells. And I've put my guitar light on. Professional. So E minor, and I've got this shape here. But I mean, this is the thing, it's like a little bit awkward, isn't it? Because you've got 10, 12, and then I've got 4 on 12 on the 5th string. So that's the first thing. And then the next shape is this. So I think that's almost pentatonic. And then the next one is this minor triad. So it's a B minor triad. And then I've got a B minor 7 without the 3rd at the top. So it's like, it's got this 5th interval, which is quite good. And you put it together and it's great. It's, so the way you play it is a little bit awkward. I've got to warm up into it. So you're doing 2, like a mini sweep. It's 2 downs and then it's a hybrid. So down, down, hybrid, hammer, and then it's a down, hybrid, hammer, and then it's an up. But you get it really clean when you get it going. And consistent. So it's really good. And there's literally hundreds of these that you can use. And you don't often hear these arpeggios like in rock. I don't hear a lot of them in my circles. And also, this kind of stuff really works well with sort of synthwave as well. Tell you what, I'm going to add a little bass to this. Right, and then... Oh no, it didn't record. Come on. Alright. So we'll just try a few of them. So something like that just run up, but that's a great like off-road to go to something else. Yeah, you see. Here's another one. Not as great. Works great over the sea. There you got one there. We've got that avoid note in. So that's cool. Like if you get, so this is the cool thing about it, is if you get a note that you're not keen of, you can just modify the whole thing. So if I don't want that, I can change it to something else and have a repeating note. So you can kind of, you know, there's ways to avoid that note. So yes, Chris, there's a good one there. See, that's that one on G. That's a cool one as well, because again, you would hit the C if you were playing it exactly diatonic. But I just dropped the C down. And you get that, which sounds great, you know. So whoa. That's better, isn't it? This is one of those licks, right? I play it perfectly well, then slightest bit of pressure or it goes wrong, I'm all over the place. It's better, isn't it? That's it. All over the shop. So yeah, that kind of thing. I really like those little arpeggios. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's a cup of coffee now, but I don't have my thermos flask. So, does anybody want to talk about anything else before I go? Or are we all cool? Right, plans for the weekend. Yeah, I'm going off to do well, I've got a session to do which is going to require 2 hours of solid shredding. So I'm going to do that. As I say, like, I've got these situations where I have to play lots and lots of guitar now. I kind of modified everything sort of, so the guitar's sort of like the thing at the minute. Cool, Chris? So yeah, I've got a session where I'm going to do that. And then what else have I got? Oh, playlisting. So there's a lot of finding playlists to go on and submitting to them. That's another thing that I'm doing, which is horrible. What else have I got to do? There's a load of Freakstar stuff, but I can't think of like anything at the minute. Oops. Oh, I've got an interview. That's something that's this week. Oh, I'm enjoying this clean sound. Oh, the next 7 days, yes. I've got an interview. I think that's Wednesday. Guitar today. And then live streams should be Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Thursday evening, Friday morning, Saturday evening, potentially with Thomas, but I'll have to see what he's doing. And the other thing is I need to make more content. What I want to do is there's a program. I don't know, has anybody here used CapCut? So I'm going to use CapCut and I'm going to go through some of my old live sessions and just cut out bits from that, bits of like decent shredding, bits of things that I've said that have, you know, gone down quite well. Thomas is a very cool guy. Oops. That's better, isn't it? Oh God, going jazzy. Trying to think. I think that's about it. Oh, hold on. What's that one? All right. Cup of coffee time, I think. I'll see everybody Monday morning. Oh, have I seen the new Ableton? Have you seen the new Ableton device? No, but I'll tell you what, Charles, will you anybody here who join the Discord, and then we can have a chat. Would you post a new Ableton device in the Discord so I can see it? Yeah. No, I haven't seen it, but will you post me it so I can look at the Ableton device? And I'm also interested in any new racks or anything you're building, or any sort of like cool devices that have been made that you've found, or anything that's like to do with like saving time would also be good. So anything you're saying, Jawzilla, like that, do share with me, and I will share back as well. Thank you. All right then, bye everybody.